Good morning, YouTube land. Welcome to Government Operations and Military Affairs, House of Representatives. It is the 22nd of May, a little after 10, and we are going to have just sort of a mildly informally formal conversation on the reports repeal bill work. Just getting an update from individual members on that project. Just to get a read on where they're going. And then we have 10:30 with the town of Essex to take some testimony on the charter we walked through yesterday. So I guess what I'll do right now is I'll defer for a moment to Rep. Hengo as spearheading this project. How we coming along?
Great, thank you. And if I have questions, I'm going to refer to Rep. Nugent, who is my co-conspirator on this project. I think we should just go through in order of the bills or the reports as listed. And see if folks who have been working on them, everybody's been assigned a bill, if they have feedback. So the first one is Rep. Coffin and Rep. Pincinel. The 2011 Act number 59 report. One of you tell us what you found. That's your copy.
We've got our notes there. Those are the bills that we found.
That's 59.
Yep.
Think right now would be, since we only have a half hour and we have 20 different reports, maybe just tell us where you are in your process. And some people may not be at the point where they know whether we should repeal or keep it or look at it again in 5 years.
But yeah, I wasn't looking for any like definitive answers on anything right now. I just wanted to see where you were at.
All right, so where we're at on the 3 that are assigned to Sandy and I, we found that the court administrator's office hasn't submitted any reports since this was from the 2011 Act 59.
Were they supposed to be written?
It does not state if they were written or not, but so we don't know if they submitted or they have them assembled but never sent a written report. We're together because we looked up all of ours and we figured out how many times they've been reported, and we're actually forming an email to send to the different departments and ask them about these reports. And have they been putting them together, but just not having them stored digitally, but not sent a written report over unless requested. So we're just trying to find the status of them from the offices that are responsible for generating them.
Okay, so that's the same with your 2018 Act 119.
Yes.
Department of Health.
Yep.
And the next one is your 2018 Act 119, 119 with the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Yes, and we have printed copies of both of those on the reports as they have been submitted.
Okay, so those last two.
Those last two have been submitted. Just the court administrator's office
Okay.
has not submitted a formal report. They may have it stored digitally.
So you guys have a piece of that?
We do. You have another piece of it.
Oh, okay, so that you have a different component of it.
We have
Oh, okay.
We have C and D.
Oh, gotcha. Yep,
Okay,
okay.
so you're going to then find out who they submitted those to and find out whether that committee or that group that they've submitted it to finds it useful.
Correct.
Okay, and Rep. Stone has a question?
So I have one part of that act appeal, and I did find 2 reports from the Department of Health regarding the foodborne illness. And the last one that was submitted on that act was in 2021, I believe. And then there was one from the Department of Health. But all 3 of the reports that I just referenced stated that there were 0 cases, like there were 0 things to report. But but I can send you those because I found those when I was looking for my part of that act. There are
We
two
have
in the
those.
Department of Health.
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that was like a little, the connection was a little choppy. So like to summarize, like the reports were issued, but the report basically stated there was nothing to report.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have copies of them printed for seeing.
5 years.
Gotcha. I just wanted to make sure I understood that correctly.
And that was because they were all requested by the same act, which was Act 119,
Yes.
2018. Okay, that's great. Thank you. And do you want to report on your report now, Rep. Stone, since we have you on?
Sure. Yeah, there's been nothing reported from my part by the Secretary of State, and I sent a message to Lauren Hibbert. So just waiting for a response, but I couldn't find a single thing.
Great, thank you very much. So then I guess the next one on our list is Rep. Waters Evans, the 2012 Act 113, report to the Agency of Administration on genuine progress indicator.
Yeah, it was not indicated that it was supposed to be a written report. I have not found any such thing. I searched by year. I went through the list to just look at them all to see if there was maybe a different title. Nothing. And also it expired in 2020. So
That expiration date is kind of arbitrary. Tucker explained to us. It
yes,
was when the report was supposed to be relooked at. Because it was COVID, the legislature, this committee was not able to dig into any of the reports to see if they should be repealed. So that expiration date is really, the word expires is kind of a misnomer.
yes, I guess my point is that since there hasn't been one between 2013 and 2020, I have not yet looked through all of the lists between 20 and 2025. But I mean, I could do that, but my a good educated guess is that it does not exist.
So what I did when I couldn't find one, and this might be helpful to you, is I took a screenshot of the statute and I sent it to the appropriate person at the Agency of Administration and asked if they have been doing this report, and if so, where they sent it to. Because it could be something that they've never done, and they should acknowledge that they've never done it, even though they've been
Right.
required to somehow
I
do
didn't-
it.
Okay, so we're looking for like written acknowledgement that they didn't do it.
Just written acknowledgement of. Yes, we know it's in statute, but nobody asked us for it because it may be that it's only on request. And no committee has asked them for it. We're not trying to blame anybody. We're just trying to find out what has happened to this report that was required in
Yeah.
statute.
It just says that they have to report to us and to Commerce.
And you could check with Commerce to see if they've.
Yes,
gotten anything.
yes, I'm just letting you know how far I've gotten so far, which is, I looked for it everywhere and did not find it. I'm not finished, obviously.
I don't think any of us are totally finished.
Right.
Next one is 10 VSA 11, that's Bob, Rep. Cooper.
I reached out to the treasurer or to VTech because they think that would have been transferred to the investment manager, but they have not responded back yet.
Right, so you think that report is, what did you say about transfer? I'm sorry.
Well, VTech, which invests the retirement funds.
I'm sorry, which one are you looking at? The
The third one
third one
down.
down.
Used to be under the umbrella of treasurer's office. Now it's a commission of its own.
Oh, right, okay.
So I think they probably would have taken that with them.
Is that like Galanka?
Again,
Galanka, possibly?
reached out to Katie, who keeps all the nuts and bolts.
Okay, great. And since we have you, Bob, you've got another one that deals with retirement, which is the eighth one down on the list. The 2017 Act 69. Did you find anything on that?
That would have been the plan that Beth was pushing, that has subsequently been replaced by the one that we just funded last year,
Yeah, so like it went from this to VT saves, which is what we moved.
Okay, so it's,
But I haven't gotten anything back from the treasurer's office yet that said, yeah, you're right.
okay, and if so, then probably we would want to change this to to get the Vermont Saves report instead of the Green Mountain Secure Requirement.
Or that's
Report.
actually there and edit, so it's not on the list. So, you know, what I'm
Yep.
saying? That could be a possibility.
So we'll just put a question mark about Vermont Saves, because maybe that's it.
Yeah, I mean, we rebuilt that and renamed it, so I can see
I don't
just
reason
hypothesizing also. Yeah. Hypothesizing.
hurt anybody.
Okay, thanks. Rob Morgan, 20 VSA, your report from the public safety on
Yes.
drone use.
I've got that one and I've got number of the 11th one down as well. And I'll give you the brutal, cold, honest truth. I haven't done anything with it.
Okay.
But I will get a hold of the commissioner, Jen Morrison, and I will speak with her before we depart the building next Friday. Does that mean optimistic?
That is honest, and I appreciate your honesty.
Well, I mean, on the latter piece of me being optimistic, that's, you know. Yes, no, I've not taken the time to do it and I need to. I will.
What was the second one that you had?
I've number the 11th one down, Matt, 20, the other piece of 119 that Sandy and VL had A,
Right at the.
2018 Act 119 subsection 8
Yeah.
alpha. Licenses issued to service members and veterans.
Gotcha.
Great, thank you.
And it's the Division of Fire Safety. Sandy and VL grab these copies. It's under the Division of Fire Safety. So it's from a safety perspective on plumbers, talks about plumbers, electricians,
Mhm.
those kinds of folks.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And Rep Hooper of Randolph is not here today. Did you also
What
have
did
the,
he have? I just
he
wanna make
has
notes.
Department of Corrections, the fifth one down. 2014 Act 163. And he also has the Criminal Justice Training Council
Gotcha.
and Rep Morgan, did you also have the report of the State Ethics Commission, the sixth one down? That's what I have in my notes, Rep Nugent. You have?
I had written the word me next to it.
Yep,
And then I had a bunch of scribble lines to it, like maybe Kate wanted it.
I think,
Wait, no, did I say that?
I think.
No, I just literally scratched on, did you want me to do that?
Yeah, if you could, I think what we did was after we went, after some people went home, we had to revise the list because some people wanted to
Oh, I had it going from.
Oh.
around.
to Shed.
Yeah, I had it switched over to
Oh,
Shed.
that's right, because you did the ethics bill, is
Right,
that why we
but,
said that? Not trying to punt it to you.
Oh,
No.
no, I'll do whatever you want. I just saw that I had two on the list.
Can Kate and I clarify that it was you that got it because you were reporting on H1 as it comes back from the Senate, so we, yeah.
Well, and you're on the.
And you're on the ethics panel, so we asked that you do that one. So thank you for being voluntold to do that one. Really appreciate
Thank you
it.
very much.
So Shay has number 2 then?
Yes,
All right, so I'll talk to, boy,
it's on, it should be on the spreadsheet that Rep Nugent emailed everybody the other day. And then Rep Nugent has the seventh one down from the Agency of Administration on performance accountability.
Yes. I've done an initial review of where that report language shows up in the statute. And it looks like there is no one report that's calling all this information for that, from what I can tell at the moment. And so I need to get in touch with the Chief Performance Officer. Oversees that and find out how they're using the information.
Hey, you just got the name of the Chief Performance Officer a few minutes ago. That works.
Yeah, we actually have them coming in on Thursday.
That's what Autumn said to us
So,
earlier.
Look at that.
And then Lucy has the EMS Advisory Committee report.
So that one is required to be a report from statute. And it has been submitted routinely. The goal is to develop and maintain a 5-year statewide plan. And they are to report on the progress towards achieving those goals. And this was also updated last session. So I think we should either retain it or extend it as the 5 years are still up.
Okay, very good. That's good progress. Did you find out who the report is coming from? Because it says other.
Statute up in front of me.
And I know we've received that report on our
It's
webpage.
the EMS Advisory Committee.
Okay, so directly from them. That's great that they have actually been doing the work of reporting to us.
Yeah.
All right, so we're down to the 15th report, and I have Rep. Waters Evans. It's about the auditor or from the
Yeah.
auditor.
Those reports are only if necessary. It's if a privatization contract isn't achieving the cost savings that it was supposed to. I have looked through the list of reports and I have not seen one, so perhaps everyone is living up to the money savings that they are supposed to, but I'm gonna check in with the auditor and make sure that he has not submitted one.
Great. That's really interesting. Okay, and we would be the ones, I would assume, who would request it?
I believe it is, I believe the statute said that it's not if it's requested, it's if the auditor. Yes, it's the auditor accounts finds that a privatization
Okay.
contract, so it's not initiated by us, it's initiated by the auditor.
Great, thank you.
So they flag something, then issue the report.
Yeah, and just to note that it is not specified whether it should be a written report or not, so.
And I think most agencies and organizations, if it's not specified to be in writing, probably don't
I don't blame
in
them.
writing.
Mhm.
And Rep. Boyden, sorry, I forgot you had another one. Department of Human Resources, seasonal
Yeah.
employment.
Yeah, that is required in statute to be a report. And it has been submitted routinely since 2020. I went through each report just out of curiosity what they included. And the 2020 report specified that we had over 1,000 temporary employment employees. And then each report up to the present one has specified that we've had under 5. So
What a difference.
yeah, and it's specified that the report come to our committee and the Senate GovOps committee, but it's not something that we are actively reviewing. And the number has definitely increased. So not sure if it should be extended or repealed, or maybe I should reach out to. See if it's still necessary.
Maybe DHR would give some reasoning behind, like maybe we have so many permanent positions that are vacant that they don't typically use seasonal employment anymore. I
Mhm.
don't know. That would be good to ask them what they think.
And I had one thing to add about the two parts of Sandy's and mine that we're working on, the 2018 Act 119, parts C and D. What we did find by going through the history of the committee pages of the committee reports received, we've only received those reports by request twice. But and actually used them in the committee and had them as part of testimony. All other reports have been just stayed in the database and not been worked from. And they haven't been worked from for the last.
Okay, so perhaps when legislation comes up or potential legislation comes up, then these reports get held up for use. Because it seems pretty specific. One is about food lodging establishment licensees who are veterans. And the other is also veterans performing inspections, which I assume is vehicle inspections without passing an exam. So they're very specific reports.
They are, and for both of them, on all years reported, has been 0. Because they call for the veteran to self-identify.
Oh, Rep Bob Hooper, for some reason you ended up with 3. Were you aware of this one? The Office of the Port Administration? Strader? Sorry.
Yeah, they're gonna require an actual person visit to.
Okay.
It's a third rail issue for them.
Okay. And then I have this 32 VSA retirement funds integrity. It says fund, but it should say report. It says funds on there twice. So the retirement funds integrity report. I received a very long email from the Commissioner of Finance about this, and it seems to only go to appropriations when they request it, and it's not written, it's in testimony. And it has to do specifically with when the governor's recommendation is not the same as the retirement board's recommendation for how to fund the ADEC and the OPEB and all of those retirement pieces. So I think in most recent years, we have fully funded everything that we're supposed to be funding. So that's why this committee hasn't gotten anything, because we didn't need to request. Why is that different? But in the past, when we weren't fully funding the retirement systems, I think people who've been here for a few biennia remember that the pension funds were in kind of big trouble. I think that's when the reports were really necessary. So I have to do some more digging. I have to ask members of appropriations if they feel that this is important information for them to have. And I'm probably going to recommend to extend it, because we don't know what the financial situation is going to be in the next few years. So I wouldn't want to repeal it right now if it would be useful information for appropriations in that circumstance. And then the last one is Rep. Nugent on Department of Finance and Management.
Which interestingly,
Is also retirement funds.
it's actually in the same statute as the one that you were just referencing. And I think it's a follow-up to if there's a mismatch in the recommendation, then what's the plan to address it? And I think I would agree with you that it seems like something we should maintain as an option if needed. And since it's not required unless it's upon request, it's not adding a burden to unnecessarily.
And look at that, 2 minutes to spare. Thanks, everybody, for all your work on this.
No, that was a good update. Thank you all.